Welcome back to our attendees. Our next speaker, Ms. Monika Olszówka, Business Development Manager at Comac, speaking on today's topic, digital transformation and the future of SME banking, how to win the SMEs in the fintech era. Over to you, Ms. Monika.
Thank you very much, Melvin. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for this introduction. It's been, it's an absolute pleasure to be here today to share with you my insights on this very interesting topic of the digital transformation from the perspective of the last year. But we all know that it's been a turbulent time due to COVID-19 for the financial industry. So I thought it would be wrong not to tackle this topic from the angle of small and medium enterprises, which are, they've been also hit by the pandemic pretty badly, but they are vital to the economic development of the country. They foster innovation, entrepreneurship, they create large-scale employment opportunities. And at the same time, the concept of ecosystems has been around for a few years, but banks are still a bit cautious when it comes to the implementation of those. So I wanted to talk about how to create a supportive environment for SMEs by banks and how banks can actually take advantage of such approach. So let me just kick it off with some figures. Well, in Qatar, 96% of private sector companies are in fact SMEs, right? So this is a large number, and when we take a look at it from the perspective of the whole region, it's at approximately level of 90+%. When it comes to the contribution of SMEs into the national GDP, well, there is still a lot of room for improvement compared to the 45% worldwide. But we know that there's a lot of hope and many positive actions in motion right now in Qatar. There's been some initiatives to enhance the competitiveness of the SME products and sector coming from QCB, who we've heard from this morning, QDB, and this is all in line with the Vision 2030 to increase that contribution to GDP coming from SME sector. Well, so we all know that there is a large potential client base when it comes to the SME sector, but banks still find SME clients as problematic. Well, why is that? When we take a look at various client segment and the structure on the bank, on the one hand, when banks serve retail clients, they usually provide some simple products. Those clients are easy to serve. It's a large client base as well, so that's why banks, they often chase this type of a client. On the other side of the spectrum, we have corporate banks, large corporations, who, they require more complex and sophisticated products, but this is a very lucrative business, right? The ratio of cost to service is looking really good here. And just in between, we have small and medium enterprises, which, they still require more attention from the relationship managers, but the profitability here can be limited in comparison to the large corporations. So, unfortunately, that's why those clients, they often considered as lower priority clients and they underserved. In fact, in the Middle East, there is the largest gap in the financial inclusion of SMEs, and only about 1/3 of SME customers feel that their bank really understands their small business needs. So what is it that SMEs actually want? Well, obviously, this depends on the type of the business, but we can still talk about a common set of needs and demands like good accounting, payroll payment services, some good optimization cost. SMEs often seek for financing. They also want to be able to look into their business, so good business intelligence tools are needed, and also they often lead some e-shops, e-commerce, and they pay attention to the cybersecurity aspects, as they often led by younger generations, tech-savvy people who just want to be able to conduct their business fully online. So, we know that banks may not be the first place where those needs are fulfilled. So where else do SMEs go? Well, as almost all of us, the first thing that they do nowadays is they turn to the internet browsers, right? So they can find hundreds and thousands of results about some fintechs, crowdfunding, peer-to-peer lending companies, and so on. And many of them already exist in the Middle East region, as we've heard in the morning as well from other speakers. This is the good news for SMEs, of course, but this is the good news for banks who are trying to chase this type of client. Well, I think the most important question here is that how can actually banks persuade SME clients to do business with them? Well, of course, this is a broad question. We could take the whole day to answer it, but the short answer is that banks really need to realize that instead of just providing the standard banking transaction services, they really need to provide a lot more, including integrated services. So, well, as a bank, you just want to become a center of attention for your clients. You want to be the place where they go to do, well, anything that is related to their business. So in fact, you want to help them with accounting, with business intelligence, with all of those other services which are in demand. Well, as a bank, you may think right now, we just want to focus on our core business. We want to keep selling loans, deposits, and all of the standard products. And I bet it was the same idea that Amazon probably had at the beginning. So back in 1997, together with their most famous competitor at the time, Barnes and Noble, they were just a bookstore. But they had this bigger idea, and they had an appetite to become a store of everything, and in fact to become a global platform. And this allowed them for an exponential growth, and we know the rest of the story, right? But when it comes to the banking business, it's also not about delivering banking products only, but it's about delivering the value, added value to the clients. So the SMEs clients, they really want something more the same way how Amazon clients wanted it. So when we actually take a look at main trends in digital banking from early 2000s, we've had this trend of digital transformation, focusing on bringing traditional banking products, deposits, loans, and so on into the digital space, right? So it was all about integrating digital channels, front ends, and bringing them into virtual. But for the past few years, since this birth of the ecosystem concept, we've had this trend of banking as a platform. So it's not only about bringing the products and services into digital, but in doing so that the user engagement increases. And in doing so, by using microservices, open APIs, agile delivery, so that you get the constant feedback from your clients, as well as fintech integration and cooperation. So what you really want to achieve is an increased engagement of your clients. And when we're talking about how to engage SMEs in particular, we need to take a look at the hierarchy of their needs. So at the very bottom, we have the standard need for secure and convenient access to all of the products and services. So this is a must have for any bank right now on the market. But next important need is that, it's the clarity. So businesses, SMEs, they want to make better financial decisions, better business decisions by aggregating various data from various sources. So this can actually go beyond banking, right? So it's not only about aggregating data from our bank, but maybe other banks as well, and some other connected tools and solutions. What's also important for SMEs is not only to be able to take a look at the data, to see it, but to take actions straight away from the same platform. And on the very top of this pyramid, we have insight. So SMEs, they really appreciate if their banks are acting more as an advisor, helping them in basically growing their business and providing some valuable insights. So this engagement model is not only focused on banking, as I mentioned, but it has to be multidimensional. So in the ecosystem approach, the client engagement really takes place on many levels, not only with regard to the standard banking products, but also with regard to any other products which are connected to the platform. So this could be ERP solutions, insurance product, factoring, supply chain financing, and in fact, anything which is in demand by SMEs and is connected to the platform. So once you have the ecosystem set up, you have much more information about your clients, right? Coming from all of the systems, tools which are connected to the ecosystem. So you are able to cross-sell and upsell in a whole another way. You just imagine you can have information about the transactions. Well, this is pretty standard, but you can also have information about all of the assets that your clients have coming, for example, from other accounts that they have through PSD2, open banking, and so on. You can have access to data coming from other fintechs which are connected to the platform. So you are able to provide in much more effective way, propose to clients these intelligence solutions. So for example, offers based on here and now, some contextualized actions that have just happened. You're able to foresee when your clients are moving their assets to or planning to move their assets to another bank. So you can apply some retention promotions. So you're effectively are able to cross-sell in a better way, to personalize your communication, and this of course increases the engagement. But well, there's much more to the ecosystem model, so you can actually change your revenue model with the ecosystem. So this is like a cherry on the top. Well, currently most of the banks, they have a standard revenue model, which is composed of revenues coming from SMEs and corporate clients for standard products such as loans, right? What you gain with the ecosystem approach is a much better personalization. So you're able to strengthen the relationship with your clients because they are simply using more services. They are more inclined to stay with your bank. You offer them convenience because they can do everything from one place. You can also extend your proposition by partnering up with some fintechs, for example, in areas and services where you don't necessarily want to compete on the market. And you can also monetize this cooperation. So you can take some cut out of your subscription fees, and in this way you can enhance your revenue streams, and you are the host of this ecosystem. So enough with the theory, maybe let's take a quick look at how SME ecosystem can be actually delivered in practice. Well, essentially, when we're talking about delivery of ecosystems, we're talking about the deployment of platforms which are tying together all of the elements of the ecosystems with pre-integrated services. So this is our MVP. This is a base. And then in the second stage, we can expand the platform in any way that we want. So for example, if your client demands some factoring services, you can partner up with some factoring fintechs. If you want to provide them with some business intelligence tools, you can also look for some partners in that area and so on. So this gives you the agility. You can watch how your clients interact with the platform, what kind of services they are using, and you are able to tailor your proposition as you go. So I just wanted to show you a quick example how SME ecosystem can be built using Commerce integrated solutions. But of course, the idea is that you can plug and play using various solutions, various vendors, partners, and fintechs. So one of the very first steps is onboarding, right? And this is first impression is crucial, as in the beginning of every relationship. So from the SME perspective, it's important that this process is as intuitive and automated as possible. And the same actually counts for the loan origination processes. They should be automated from the perspective of both front and back office, right? SMEs, they often seek financing, as I mentioned. So it would be beneficial to have such system as a part of the ecosystem. I've already mentioned the need for one unified platform. So this could be SME banking, Commerce SME banking solution, but it can be any other platform which basically has an open architecture and a large level of connectivity. And on top of that, we can add some factoring services. We can add some loyalty management solutions, loyalty programs, which of course increase the client engagement immensely. And all of this should be actually available via different models, including the cloud model. So as an example, you can see how those different services, which are of course in demand by SMEs, they can be accessible from the same banking platform that SMEs use to do their banking on a daily basis. Of course, as I mentioned, those services or solutions, they don't have to be provided by the bank directly, but can be provided by some connected partners in a white label mode, for example. So you can engage with your clients in a much well, on a whole different way, actually, a whole different level. Thanks to all of the data coming from the set of tools, the bank can actually see that, for example, like with this client, super brand, there is some problem with their liquidity. So the bank can proactively suggest some solutions and like factoring products in this case. In another case, when a contractor hasn't paid, well, the SMEs clients, they don't have to log into any other system in order to check the the list of unpaid invoices. They can actually insure their invoices or ask for a payment and do it straight from the same level of the same platform. In terms of the insights, well, the same platform can actually provide various tips, recommendations into the SME's daily business. So the platform can act in a very intelligent and data-driven way, and personalize and suggest the offer to the client based on their behavior, demands, and all of the data coming from the ecosystem. So you can actually go one step further. So banks can not only support SMEs directly through the possibility of personalization offers for them, but actually through connecting some additional platform like a partner platform, marketplace to the whole ecosystem where SMEs can upload their offers, products, and so on. And thanks to all of the information that the bank has about the customers, it can help SMEs in segmenting their clients and also in personalizing their offers. So just to sum up, when it comes to the ecosystem, the clients, well, they really demand modern digital platform, which is highly accessible. So this is a must-have for a bank to have such a high level of connectivity. If you want to distinguish yourself on the market, you may want to be able to, well, give this convenience in conducting business to your SME clients by allowing them to take advantage of all of the tools connected to one single platform. And lastly, but not least, thanks to all of the data coming from the ecosystem, the clients can actually make better business decisions and they can enjoy much more personalized service and experience. And of course, there are some benefits of the ecosystem approach to the banks as well. So this includes increased net promoting score. As I mentioned, your clients are more inclined to stay with the platform and to recommend you to your peers. Thanks to all of the additional data about your clients, you are actually able to cross-sell and upsell much more effectively. And finally, banks can get some additional revenue sources in form of service subscription. Since you are a provider of the ecosystem, you are the host of the platform, you can actually dictate the rules and you can monetize the relationship between your clients and partners. So thanks to the ecosystem approach, well, your clients, SME clients, can focus on their business. As a bank, you can create modern services that attract new customers. And you can also cooperate with various partners in order to provide great value proposition to your clients. Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this talk as much as I'm passionate about this topic. I would be happy to take any questions offline. Please reach out to me directly, visit our virtual booth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Monika, for your presentation. It was excellent. So SME is definitely one of the key segment for any economies to succeed. So what was your experience for the SMEs as a company? How did your system help them?
Well, absolutely. So we work with banks across all continents, in fact, helping them in digitalizing the full customer journey for SMEs in particular. So of course, we provide various solutions, as you've seen. In fact, the full ecosystem, which you can plug in, unplug various solutions. So yes, we have over 20 years of experience in providing such solutions to banks catering to needs of SMEs, but also corporate clients as well.
Most of the countries now do have an SME authority, and there are quite a few SMEs coming up. So that must be some good news and a good feeling for people like you and your company, right? So there is focus for them and there is an opportunity for SMEs now.
Yes, absolutely. And the pandemic has actually shown that there's been, quite a poor support for SMEs. Obviously, this depends on what parts of the world we're talking about, but still, as I mentioned, SMEs are underserved. But we can see this huge shift now, and this is definitely a great news, I think, for banks and for companies providing digital solutions. So definitely.
Along with SMEs, maybe a little bit of startups also can benefit because they are like almost like SMEs.
Yes, absolutely. So, well, it's also interesting that I would say a bit of war between some large banks and maybe fintechs, but now it's all about the cooperation between startups, between fintechs, banks, and also digital companies who enable this supportive environment for all of the actors, so to speak.
All right. So, dear attendees, Comac has an exhibition booth at the exhibition area. Please go check the products and services and ask for more questions and details. Comac is our digital transformation partner. So, thank you again, Monika, for your time and your lovely
Thank you very
presentation.
much.
And we hope to meet you in person or in another event soon.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.